the Son hath done. Amen. All right, kiddos, come on.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play a game that you all... What do?
You wait for someone to say, like, clap your hands and you do your out.
Okay, but if you say Simon says, then... Okay, Simon, touch your ear. Simon says, stand up. And if Simon says it, you do it. It's called the law. And all these things you have to do. Easter season. Jesus died on the cross. He rose up from the grave. How much he loved us. Okay, let's close our eyes. You've done for us. God, thank you. All those crazy things, but we still have to follow the thing for dying on the cross for us. Thank you that you love us more than anything. Thank you for these kiddos. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Turn to 334. Let's all stand as we sing. This will be offertory hymn. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Heir of salvation, purchase of God is blood. This is my story, endure all the day long. This is my story, endure all the vision, perfect delight. Visions of rapture that burst on my side. Angels descending, bring from above. Echoes of this is my story, this is my song. Praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song. Praising my Savior all the day long. Perfect submission, all is at rest. I in my Savior am happy and blessed. Watching and waiting, looking above, filled with His goodness, lost in His love. This is my story, this is my song. Praising, this is my story, this is my song. Praising my Savior all the day long.
Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you again for this day. Thank you for all the things that you have given us, Lord. Just thank you for your many blessings.
before. God searched through heaven and couldn't find one willing to be. That could buy grace, cause not been had it called Jesus. Then for that torment me, had it not been, and had it not been, had it not been for a man called forever, my soul would be lost. My soul would.
And we sang At the Cross. Miss Marilyn, I hope we're listening to what the other was doing. But God, we're going to be in Romans 3:9. We're going to start a series during the Lent season, right up to Easter. And so let's, if you want to call that the series title, in Romans, and see what Paul says in what Lent is. And so many times we label it for this group or for that group or for whoever to be a tool. And so, as Misty talked about this morning, and she talked about the law, we're going to see Paul talk about and what it did. And thanks to Jesus, longer bound has to say. Romans 3:9-20. For we have already charged that all both, not one. This is together they have become, use their tongues to deceive. Their feet are swift to shed blood. In their paths are ruin and misery. And the way of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Verse, so that every mouth may be stopped. And a lot of verses off this way. Are the Jews any better? Israel is bound under the law. Gentiles and others are not. But the Jewish people did better than everybody else. And so they kind of walk around with their... And so with the law, and they feel like they do really pressing this right here. He says, are we Jews any better than everybody else? Really, think about this. And then he gets into saying, no, remember, both are charged. He didn't say, he doesn't bring up the law again. What does he say? Under sin. He said, you have that all, both Jews and Greeks, are. You aren't any better. You think you are, and you come off as you are, the way you act, the way you treat other people, the way you act. And so what does Paul do? He goes back to one. He goes back and he grabs it. And boy, does it just smack you around a little bit when you read this. And can I tell you? Well, we're not bound by the law, Pastor. No, we're not. No, we're not. We walk around and say we are without thinking it. The way we act, the way we think our problems don't even stack up to somebody else's. And Paul just reminds real quick, hey, you aren't any better than anybody else. He says, why? What did the law do? Well, see, the law, and so what does that do? Well, let me use an illustration. Some of you see, he just set the bar this high. Most people can go a minute or two. And this guy, so if I get 5 people lined up and say, I want y'all to do it, and these people do it, and one of them goes 8 minutes, 15 minutes, 13 seconds, and the other 4 minutes, who met the standard? None of them. Nobody met the standard. Paul's saying, you can think you're doing really good, but you have not met God's standard. You can think you're doing really good, you could do it, but God knew nobody could do it. Nobody sets the mark, falls short of the glory of God. He said, and by your actions of how you're treating others, you're proof. Guess what the world does? Foods. Go on this diet. Commercializes it. Have the comforts. Begin with. In that, guess what I find out? And so people about excuses for what we think we need. The excuses that we use for things. It's all about only this group does it. If it's about removing something from your life, doesn't that cross there? People want to commercialize it. They're going to commercialize it. We're going somewhere else. Why is it something that you got to feel like you have to do it? Do it. Because Lent is something that can bring out and recognizes up the things in our life that we don't need. It highlights the fact, just like the law highlighted the fact, the impossible standard to live up to, it highlights the fact that we have things in our life that we don't need. Verse 19. So Paul lays out the psalm, the reference. The law says it speaks to those who are under the law, so that every mouth may be stopped and the whole world may be held accountable. Here's the facts, and here's the charge, the indictment. The law says it speaks to those who you can't live up to it. And if you can't live up to it, then why are you walking around saying something to somebody else? Speaking the way they are. Because why do we come off that way? Paul says the indictment is here. You are no better than anybody else. Live up to the impossible standard. It's been proved. We didn't do anything. We benefited. Removing the things in our life that don't need to be there. We can't live up to the standard that was set. There was none perfect. Jesus had to be the sacrificial in the courtroom as we sat there getting ready to be sentenced to die. He said, I'm going to tomorrow, ever born that will be. We all are born where they're at. This is the proof. Now stop. Pray this, and I'm stressed over this. I don't care where you've been, what you've been through. I've struggled. I fell down. I was the one standing in the audience out there as he was dying, and I was the one spitting. I was the one casting lots. I was the one yelling at him, and he still died for me, and then rose and ascended and sits at the right hand of God for every person. No matter for Lent. And you want to say, I want to remove one thing, I want to try this. That we're any better off than anybody else. That we can't love everybody. That we can't pray for everybody. That the person we're struggling with now the most, that you just have had a bad week and you're just mad at them as mad as be, and you're upset with them, what I have him, came here, was born of a virgin, died on a cross, was buried, went to go make a place for every one of us. Body. The law was the impossible standard that revealed sin. You never got there. Well, the difference is we were saved. We didn't even. Not the most money in the world. So paid by the same person that paid everybody else's debt. If we go out to eat and somebody pays for every one of our meals and we don't know who it is, then wasn't everybody's debt paid the same? Whether you had water and that was it, all of our debts. And you're transformed and you follow me, buried with him, raised to want you to come home. Man, what kind of love? We can love everybody. And everybody needs to know about the Jesus I know. That said, it was an atheist. But one of the things that he said was, is if people did, how crazy are they? If you believe, it's for us. Family. Person you meet. Some of you are the most friendly people I've ever met. You go places and I see you. We have to get into that place. This morning as the group begins to move, none of us are ahead of the other. From the saved to the unsaved. In deep, dark places. I come for the sick, not for the well, that needed him the most. We're around those people. Day in and day out. Know where they are right now in their journey. With the idea that the lost and the sick are out there. And they need us. We may be ready to go get those. But we're no better off than anybody. No matter where you are, you do. No matter what you're dealing with. So we get ready to sing our hymn. If you're struggling, somebody else next to you.
Number 300.
So
She's decided there's moving in her. I can tell you, I'm also excited. I said, no, you made a decision. God's already done that. I said, I just want to pray with you and I just want to love on you. Go ahead and be seated. Business meeting, because I believe we need $2,000 for it. So I went and looked at it, drove it, 6,000 miles on it. The drove was to go to a 18-passenger van. I know all of them. I said, trustee, about 5 minutes later. So I got in touch with our insurance, and they got back to me this week, and they said for liability insurance, it's $396 a year. That's less than $34 a month. Questions, and then answer them as sir.
See, it doesn't. And when you are all gone, days so like riding in a church bus. All the effort y'all put into it is wasted. I love it, and I love all you guys. I'll be straight. The paint's good. David Henderson is going to re-letter it for us. He also went with us on the drive. So I just, before y'all do take a vote, I'd like for you to think about this church having less and less people as the time goes on. You know, because we're all not promised tomorrow.
From a youth perspective, so I helped Jared. Half the youth group is my children. But my Suburban has over 120,000 miles on it, and as the youth mama, having something like this to go to camps, or even just, we went and looked at Christmas lights this year, and we were scrunched in my, I had 9 seatbelts, but we were scrunched. This would be amazing. I don't know all of the liabilities, but as an active youth mama, this would be awesome.
Be a blessing.
It would, it really, really would.
It would really increase the amount of people that are able to come to church.
Absolutely. Adults also,
Yeah.
Well, in look in your bulletin, what we have coming up in the Easter, that van would be able to go to all of those. There's people that can't drive. You don't know how many people. I have at least 3 or 4 ladies that can't come to Bible study right now because they can't drive at night. When you can't drive at night anymore, it limits what you can do. But if you have something that allows you to do that, you can go to more things. And so, just to think about the adult perspective of it, there is that as well. Yes.
Our Wednesday night program, I'm gonna tell you, these kids are dedicated to coming to Wednesday nights. We have 30 to 40 kids on Wednesdays. I've seen kids ride their bicycles in pouring rain to come on Wednesday nights. And if we can't work together as a church and provide a way for them to get here safely, number one, if they're that dedicated to coming, let's provide that ride for them to get here.
So what do you need to be able to move forward?
Well, we're gonna, when the questions and comments are done, we'll take a vote, and then we can discuss after that. A motion.
Unless it comes from the committee.
Yeah, a motion in a second, and then we'll take a vote after the questions and comments, and then after that, we will discuss how we can pay for it. And I have some ideas on that as well. Yes, sir.
Just to kind of, bolster what's already been said, as far as the youth group is concerned, we are starting to grow,
Yes.
and we're picking up speed
Yeah.
as we are. And I'm extremely grateful to Sarah and all, going her.
And I can't express pick up if somebody needs a ride. And well, absolutely for those that want it. As far as ladies and men that want to go, the van goes to that. The van can take you there. It's $1,500. It's $396 a year. Windshield wipers. It needs associated with that. It be as much as people honestly think. You want it to be used. It's been sitting. Any question? It's just a regular van, passenger van. day that they mentioned that they might be interested.
And I'll tell you, we've driven it. Like, not just.
This van, I mean, it's been with them. It's gone to D now. I guarantee the last trips it made was because I was at those camps. So I can assure you they're running the same numbers we are. I know because we're fixing to do a D now with them. Always ready for a motion. We need a motion in a second. Motion, second.
Okay, so
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now, how are we going to pay for it? My thought, if I'm right, we're probably close to 13,000 in that fund right now. The finance committee can decide where they want to pull it from. But I think 750 and 750, it gives us a split shared responsibility in it. But I think it's I think this is what I want is I want a motion, or I want some ideas on what y'all think about as far as paying for it out of the youth fund, or for and again.
Fundraiser, and
Yeah.
I see no problem with paying for it that way.
It's a good idea for us to share that responsibility across the lines as well. Yes.
Also, myself and David Henderson and Jeremy, we're gonna try to keep up nearly all.
We'll all handle,
Yeah.
taking care of this thing.
I will let Philip know this afternoon. That way they'll know. Make a
Make
motion.
a motion that we pull from both accounts, the youth account and the church account, to help her.
Church, wherever we decide that we can get it from, out of that's best. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays by the same sign. Motion carries. So that's taken care of. And then Misty makes a motion that we adjourn from business meeting.
Yes.
Somebody's hungry. So consider ourselves to be adjourned from business meeting. Now I want to bring Kathy back up. And sing. But let's stand up. Let's join hands.
You're free, you're free.
Do it.
This is the Lord.